It is the Fantasy Rugby Yanks. My name is Jared Dyke. I wanted to say it's stupid and let's move on, but then you kept going.
I'm Ben Glauser. I don't like any way anybody handled that.
A collusion. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. It is the Fantasy Rugby Yanks. My name is Jared Dyke.
I'm Ben Glauser.
Here we go. Big past weekend in many ways. It's going to be... Yeah, we got lots to talk about. Champions Cup, Six Nations, obviously Super Rugby, all that good stuff. And then...
Right. A busy in-person weekend for us.
Yes, so. Yeah, I know. Good Lord. Who made me an adult? I need to have a word with them. I'd like a word with their supervisor, actually.
Let's get you a Karen cut.
Yeah, right. Do make sure that you share us on your favorite podcast app. Rate, review, all that good stuff. Comment, feedback, so on and so forth. But make sure that you are supporting our good friend, the Fantasy Rugby Geek, our good friend George, by buying him a coffee or a beer. Sorry, I'm very distracted by my beer right now, so I need to take a sip. Anywho, but yeah, make sure you click on his link in his profile, buy me a coffee, and much appreciate it, because a few of you out there probably have a final to worry about this weekend, and he is probably going to help you. So I would definitely give him a little bit of a hand there. Okay.
Yeah. And it does suck to feel absolutely no stress this weekend. I'm like, none of this matters fantasy wise.
Well, you could,
what am I supposed to do? On the other hand, fun of it? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah. On the other hand, you could be in the Sacco,
which I did avoid.
Yeah. So there's that. So you got yourself a point in the standings and all that stuff. Good. So not so bad. As always, for us here on this podcast, there is no discrimination, nor should there be in sports or in life. Similar instances with different outcomes going on here. I mean, story of the day.
So there was just the other day, there was it's like the microcosm of society, all in like one little bit. And it's twice this week it happened in the US, where on, I think it was Monday, there was a video that came out of this wannabe hero stopping what appeared to be shoplifting at a TJ Maxx, and even the police report wrote it up as that. And he like fought this woman, like he grabbed her and then like smacked her a couple times to stop her. And turns out that no, she bought the stuff she had and was just like running out to like meet an Uber or something. Like but they spun it, and like the guy felt like, he felt empowered to do it and obliged to do it. Obviously, you're stepping. What the fuck am I going to do? Like stepping in front of someone. Like, first off, if you see someone shoplifting, no, you fucking didn't. Look like like it. Why? What are you gonna? What does it matter, really? Who's like? Is it not a victimless crime? No, but like, who's really losing out on what here? And people are desperate, and like, if they're not doing this for fun, they're doing it for survival. So if it happens, it happens. I've not seen people shoplift. What the fuck do I care? Sorry, CVS. I saved you $5, or I didn't save you $5 or something. Fuck off. But then there was the incident in the New York subway.
At the subway, yeah.
Where the gentleman who actually, if you look up who this man was, Jordan Neely, he performed on the subway for money and things like that. Like, he was just a kind of a New York, one of those New York character kind of guys, and apparently really nice, but had been having mental problems, and was making a scene but not being violent, and this guy just choked him and put him in a chokehold and held it for like 15 minutes and killed him. And like the police let him go, and they're like, yeah, whatever. He helped. It's like, what the fuck did he help? Like, he murdered somebody. Like, again, that's the stigma of mental health that we talk about too.
Right.
Coupled with I feel it's my job to enforce the law. along with the racism, like, oh, you're an agitated African American gentleman. It's my job to calm down the situation, to stop the situation. And it's like, no, like, just if the guy needs help, you did not, you did not help in any way. You killed him.
No,
like unbelievable. And that's just the
Mhm.
way it's been gone around. Like it's been done up in the media. It's sickening. Like it's really fucked that this is the way our society sees things.
Really fucked. Yeah, I agree. And it's I will continue to kind of bang the drum of there needs to be better responses in terms of mental health, like some sort of service you can call where trained professionals will try and help out someone that is clearly mentally ill or mentally disturbed, or having some sort of mental episode where
Right.
An average person is not going to be able to calm them down unless they also have training.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm definitely an
And
advocate for the police should not be called in that situation if possible.
Right. Oh, exactly.
They
The
don't
police,
make things better in those
no, they
situations
don't.
more often than not.
And that's explained away. Like, oh, well, he was having a mental illness episode, so we killed him, and that's okay. What the fuck? Like, it's
That is
all
not
these,
an okay explanation. No way.
and right, and yet it gets accepted.
Yeah, that
Just, what kind
always
of
baffle
what
me.
the yeah. I
No thanks.
No, it's not. This isn't good.
No.
And it would be nice if we had, leadership that actually cared about it. Instead, they're just like, that's just the way it is. Like, it's pretty awful. Or they encourage it. Like that's the two we get to choose from. Is the, oh, what do you want us to do about it? Versus the hell yeah, that's pretty awesome. Let's do more of it.
Absolute joke.
So there we are.
And away we go.
But at least if you can think about that the next time you see stories like this, and maybe help change the narrative somehow, please, because we cannot let that go on it completely unanswered. It seems to be.
Agreed, sir.
Which is why the no discrimination here is important.
Yes.
In sports and in life.
Yep, agreed. In the meanwhile, make sure that you grab our Patreon. We are coming to a close here at the end of the fantasy year.
Right. Only a few weeks more.
Yeah, a couple weeks left in Super. We only got 1 week left in Prem. So pretty wild to think about.
Right. I apologize for the lack of a sheet for those of you who for Premiership, but at this point, I think 1 week's worth of data is not going to change your final, your numbers heading into finals.
Right. Keep them in.
So I apologize for that, but work got a really annoyingly paperworky lately, and so I'm doing spreadsheets and shit like that all day. I can't do it more. I did the Super Rugby I'll do, but with only the finals. Sorry.
Yeah, that does happen sometimes.
Yeah,
you get to the point where you're like, yeah, the stuff that I would do for fun that I just did for work, fuck that.
Right.
That does happen sometimes.
And I will post a final Prem sheet. Not that it'll do much because there won't be another FRD next year. So
right, but it's good.
I don't know what exactly we'll have, but at least it's a good.
If there's something, it's helpful data either way.
Right.
Yeah, if we get to something, there's a chance that there's something we can do about it. So, anyway, it'll be helpful, I think.
Sorry, that's more for the fantasy pod, but we're coming to the end of our Patreon season anyway, so we're not far away.
Nope. And also, we are coming on to episode 200. We're gonna be there in about a month.
Holy crap!
Yeah. So we will. I think our plan right now is to potentially get our better halves involved here, and I think I bet you there are a few people that would be curious to see what they have to say, and of course we'll do some sort of open Q&A as well.
Maybe we could do a Q&A session.
I think we'll do a general open Q&A, but I think anybody that wants to ask questions of them, I think they'd be glad to help.
Right. Maybe we could just record their answers or something.
Yeah. Oh, we'll do. I think we can figure something out here.
We'll sort something out.
More fun.
Yeah.
It'll be good. But yeah, episode 200 coming at you soon, kids. Wow. Hang on to it. Anywho, let's go to the wrap up of the Six Nations, and I see 38-33, and I'm not sure that it was that close.
I have a different opinion.
Oh, yeah?
My opinion of this match was that in the second half, we saw what France, like what this game could have been if France played just a little bit in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if France had kept 15 on the pitch.
That sometimes helps.
The first half. Like, yeah, they I felt like, yeah, it was a little bit of garbage time comeback, a little bit, but they really started clicking in that second half. It was more than just like things weren't clicking in the first. It's not like England were dominant because they like everything that they did fucking worked.
Yep.
But I felt like France showed that this was certainly a proper match. It wasn't, they're not that far behind. I think that a 5-point difference is, yeah, I think that's what this match was ultimately, because France really dominated that second half and they had a shot.
It was just the one. It was the Lark Davies try for England. That was their only score. They couldn't convert that.
Zoe got, or did Zoe get? It says 41 minutes. Was it 40 plus one?
I think it was 40 plus one.
Yeah,
because it was 33 at half.
Okay, right. Yeah.
So it was into dead time there.
Right. So no, I think I think France could put up a really good fight, and it was definitely a one, kind of a 1 versus 2, certainly from the Northern Hemisphere. So,
yep,
hell, it was enjoyable. I don't care. Like, it made it. I mean, like even the first half was actually enjoyable, even though it was a stomping. France were making them work for it, and England were just doing the work.
Yep,
and getting themselves over. I liked their half, and I liked the French half too.
Yeah, I mean, and usual suspects for France too: Boulard, Vernier, Escudero. Like these are names you'll continue to see for
Banet,
Banet for a long time here, I think.
But and Tremoulier, who got on the board for the wrong reasons, but
stop doing that.
Still had a couple conversions, but still,
I would advise you to stop doing that.
Don't know.
But on the grand scheme of things, and we will touch on the other two matches, but in the grand scheme of things, like just the picture at Twickenham with these women being on display for their skills alone. No, this is not a curtain raiser. This is not a, they're not following up another match. This is their match. Right. And to put the bums in the seats that they did. And this was, and as you said, this did end up being a decent match to watch for sure.
Right.
Was it competitive? Nah, that might be up for debate, but
it could have been.
Yes,
it could have been.
But in terms of watch, totally worth it.
Yeah.
And
58,000
and
what, like 498, something ridiculous, something that's great. Almost, it was great. 59,000. You love to see it, and I love that Marley Packer raised the trophy between the two props. that did my heart good. Obviously, I'm gonna enjoy that. Two of my like favorite props in the world.
Boderman's she's a character to say the least.
Right. And then Sarah Byrne is just
Byrne's a beast.
Right.
But if you need more of a reason to start paying attention to the women's game, fuck you, Beardmore. If you need more of a reason to start paying attention to the women's game, you're not going to be convinced.
Right.
You'll be one of those late adopters that, continues to have a flip phone until the very last flip phone's available.
No, this is absolutely a product. It is sellable. And rugby's this was an fucking awesome just game to watch. Of all games that you can watch that are like great on spectacle, this was up there. Like, absolutely, it's not boring. You have to push it a little better. And like obviously they didn't like this now at this point, this is selling itself. Now you have to like work it a little bit, and
Yes.
it's gonna blow up.
Right.
Just like the Prem could if they fucking
Put their head
played
out of their
a
ass.
little bit smarter. But
Yeah.
we'll get to that.
Get to there. Get to there later on. Yeah. So well done to England and the women and everybody involved in this match and putting it on and making it what it was. And this was a perfect example of what this whole thing can be if we let it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. I think we just need to stop putting the brakes on and let it go.
Right.
And do it. Too many people are pulling back on the brakes, and we need to stop that.
Right.
In others, I actually was watching this match, the Wales Italy match, with my girls' team because we didn't have the film that was supposed to come to us did not come to us. I was like, whatever, I have access to this. Let's just watch this a little bit. So yeah, it was great. I was glad. It was actually a pretty good. The first half was fairly good to say the least, at least. So Italy stayed right in it for a while, but eventually, Wales definitely showed their class and showed their ability with the support they're getting.
I felt bad for Italy in this match. I just felt like they were not. It just wasn't clicking.
Yeah,
and
little inaccuracies, really.
Yeah, it was like just one thing would just go wrong every single time.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't play poorly. And individually they had some pretty good games. I don't recall anybody who had a poor match by any means.
Right.
But Wales were like, okay, we're just gonna take advantage of this. Like you have the yips. Totally. We're gonna just put a little bit more pressure on you, and it worked.
Yeah, the Medea try for Italy in the first half was brilliant. Mm-hmm. That was so well worked.
Especially because it was in response to a try.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, it's just kind of made that statement like we are not going away, but
right.
I mean, eventually Wales did shoo them away a little bit, but
yeah, I mean that did happen. And yeah, did they score after half?
No,
yeah, no, they didn't.
No,
it was just
no. And credit to the Welsh defense for not letting that happen either. So let's give credit where that's deserved.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just well done to Wales, and it's nice to see now that they're getting a little bit more support, that they're able to show. Yeah, we're gonna get there. We're gonna be there with the Frances and the Englands in the not too distant future.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. They're working towards it. They're progressing.
Agreed. And then the reason that probably the match that we'll talk about the second most from this tournament, at least from this round, for all the wrong reasons, in Scotland and Ireland, and just because Scotland have gotten a little bit more support recently with contracts being awarded and a wider playing squad being
well, they also have they play in the Prem too. Like a lot
of these players do, yeah.
Or the Allianz, whatever.
Yeah, the Premier 15s. Yep.
Right. Like they're pros. They are pros. And they have that support. Whereas I assume, and actually I don't know this to be true, but do Ireland have that same like you have to play for the provinces rule?
No.
Okay.
No, because they do have a couple that play in Allianz, but they don't. They have a lot of others that are playing in the All Ireland League, which as we know is good. It's certainly better quality than some of the stuff that we've seen, but it's certainly not the Prem 15s by any means whatsoever, and really it's not even close.
Right.
And they're just, and plain simple, they're not supported.
No, they're not. And it's a shame. It's like that's the I saw something that was like the table matches the professional development. So like England came in first. They were professional first, then France, then Wales, then Scotland, then Italy, and Ireland are last. They're last for a reason,
Right.
Because they're still sorting that shit out. So, I feel bad for the players because they're giving their all.
Mm-hmm.
We all know what it's like to punch a little bit above our weight class and how much that just sucks. It's demoralizing, especially over 5 matches where you just have to keep going at it again and again. And maybe this is the time when it all clicks for us, and it isn't. That sucks.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to deal with. I agree. It really is, and you can kind of see some of the goods that are coming from Scotland professionalism a little bit, and I'm not going to fully credit it right now to that, but with the likes of Francesca McGee, who is all of 20, something like that. Maybe she's 19, whatever it is.
Right.
She turns out puts almost 100 meters on the board and scores. And we talked about it the other week with Chloe Raleigh. Like, young players will see that and say, "Oh, I definitely want to play with her." And this is one of those examples. And again, I won't fully credit that or the professionalism, but that is an example of what could be to come for Scotland. And that is, and if you're a Scottish rugby fan, you should feel pretty good about that. She only made her debut this tournament, I believe. Yep. So she's going to be one for the future. So duck and cover, kids. She's going to light the world on fire, I think. All right, let's go to. She's 19. Damn.
She's 19.
Oof.
If Wikipedia is accurate.
Oof. Wow. Okay, then. So, yeah, 19. She's going to light the world on fire for a long time.
That's not fair. But yeah, no, that's awesome. And Chloe Rowley had a cool tweet too. I can't remember what it was though. Shoot, I'll have to look it up. But she's getting on. But between her and me,
you have a lot of hope in that back line.
There. Yeah,
really do. Really do.
There's a lot of promise there.
Yep, agreed. And I hope it comes good. They deserve it.
Right.
All right, let's go to Champions Cup semifinals. Let's go over to Dublin first. Trying to do it in chronological order and all that good stuff. This match was over. I'm not going to say it because they did the 6-2 split as much as I want to. That's not it. But it was. They could have saved themselves. No, they could have saved themselves by keeping Dupont at 9. Like, he is hands down the best player on your team. Get him the ball more often. And they weren't. And I don't remember who the second chair on this was. I was like, the fact that I was nodding with him, I was like, God damn it, why do I have to nod with this guy? But I agreed. Like, I was the best player on, possibly on the face of the earth. Get him the fucking ball more. And how do you do that? You don't do it by moving him further away from the breakdown or further away from the scrum. You get him right there and make sure he has his hands on the ball almost every time you're on offense.
Right.
And if you're going to do what you did and move him away, okay, fine. Still find opportunities to get this guy the fucking ball. And they did. So between the two, between that choice and the lack of execution of the game plan otherwise, they were fucked. Like, Toulouse didn't have a shot. Sorry. And this is a wonderful team. Nobody would ever, deny that. But the second they couldn't get him the ball more often, this Leinster team was always going to win.
Right.
Decisions be damned.
Yeah. And right. And I'm hearing complaints and stuff like that outside of it. It's like, no, Leinster are just, it doesn't matter. Did Barnes that situation with
Nettie and Vanderfleer?
Nettie and Vanderfleer, did he go light on both of them? Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, he went light on them. So fucking what? Is that gonna is there any decision? Yeah, is there any decision you could have made that would have changed that outcome? Really, like
No,
it. Get over it. Like there was whatever, and so it's like it's not even worth the disagreement. Just move on.
no, and they were still kind of in this when Mayafu got over. I was like, okay, we might have something here, and then
I
we
didn't really
didn't.
feel it. Yeah, I never felt it. like,
Yeah, like
I just was no. This was Leinster for me almost. Like, yeah, Aki score getting over. I There
quick
was some
was
shockage. That
was kind of a was. I was like, all right, is
was a
this going to be
punch,
a jolt or is this going to just slap Leinster in the face and they're going to wake up?
right? But after Conan's second try, and then
Mm-hmm.
Sheehan, I'm like, no, this game's over.
Oh
Like
man, that
this is
Sheehan
not.
try was
It's done.
good.
It doesn't matter, right? I mean, the Conan, because to me, the Conan tries were kind of like he did a good job. I'm not trying to take anything away from Jack Conan, but it was kind of into a really soft defense. It really was not well defended.
Mm-hmm.
Not certainly not like
No, there was definitely some
nobody
defensive
willing
lapses to say the least.
right. So for wasn't the whole thing about Toulouse that they were bringing some massive locks to bring the Thunder and I can't imagine Jack Conan on those two tries felt much thunder. So,
No, probably
um,
not.
right. And then after the Sheehan try, I'm like, no, 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 no. It's just,
And game.
I mean, I was at this point, even not at this point, I was watching the women's match. This was always on the iPad for me. I was like, no, no.
Probably says a lot.
Right. So, like, no. I didn't think Toulouse were really.
No,
Mm-mm.
they just weren't quite at it, and they had it just ill discipline and
Yeah.
not really bringing the defense like they needed to. Because this was just a high powered engine coming at them with Leinster, and you got to give credit to the way Ross Byrne ran this ship, and we know we're not going to see Sexton ever again in the Leinster shirt.
Right.
And still, there's no reason for panic whatsoever out of the Leinster camp because they know Ross Byrne 100% has the ability to run this attack just fine.
Right.
And he's got the bodies around him. He knows how to use the bodies around him. And he doesn't need to be Johnny Sexton. He can be Ross Byrne, and things are going to be okay.
Right. Also, I got to say the penalty kick at 55 minutes for Ramos was another one where I was like, what do you do? What do you do?
Dude, if you haven't noticed, you're in a try fight.
Right. This is not. No. No, sorry. That was the ultimate, like, we're good. We're done scoring now.
Well, and when Byrne knocked the first two over, I was like, really? Are we going to do this? Like,
yeah.
Unless they're about to go into a shell, like I was a little worried about it. Nope, never mind. Yeah.
I mean, because it just kept them within range. It kind of made sense because that, like, we'll get ours, but just get some point. Like that to me felt like ticking the scoreboard over just to let them know. And then and they knocked it down after that. That's what you have to do. You can kick the first two, but then it's tries after that, and fuck, did they do that?
Yeah, they figured that one out.
Yeah,
they figured that one out pretty well, and you wonder why they're just such a machine. We have this kid Jenkins coming in who's been playing a lot of the URC and performs very well, gets himself over. They were developing Dan Sheehan a long time ago, and then his opportunity came, and now he's one of the best hookers in the world. Like, yeah, they're just lining them up one by one. That's all they're doing. Good to see Baird in the lineup too. We were all worried about how bad his shoulder was, and that he might miss out on the World Cup. So good on him. I'm glad he's healthy. That would have been a shitty reason to miss it. Unlike Johnny Gray, unfortunately, sounds like he's going to miss.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, with that injury, and
I didn't see what he did though.
Dislocated kneecap.
Okay, that's
uncomfortable to say the least.
Yeah, I had a teammate do that to himself one time, and it was like maybe the worst sound I've ever heard.
Yeah, it sounds uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Johnny's team anyway.
Which kind of was the
La Rochelle and Exeter.
Yeah, well, okay. Should I say that was maybe the worst sound I've ever heard, other than having to listen to Austin Healy in this
Oh, for
fucking
fuck's
match.
sake! Good lord!
Good lord, he won't. He moaned from the start. He was complaining like Piper could hear him. He was acting like we do at a Free Jacks match, and like, but we're just having fun with it a little bit.
We're
like,
fucking around mostly, yeah.
Right, like. He's like everything. Oh, that's a knock on. You can't do that. That's a penalty. Like, oh, it's like shut the fuck up. I think at some point somebody cut his mic because it was just like unbearable.
Yeah, it was. My wife was like, "I thought you were watching the game because I had how was I doing that day? It doesn't matter. But she's like, I thought you were watching the game. I was like, I am. She's like, I can't hear it. I'm like, there's a reason. I have the volume so fucking low. I can't stand to hear him. Anywho, to the match, a little bit of the same flavor in some ways where Simmons got over quick,
and
we thought, but I mean, Sam Simmons and Ollie Woodburn. That's all I got for you on this team.
There's not much else.
You know,
Joe Simmons is all right. He's not terrible.
No,
but like he needs help. He's not like he can't be your third guy.
No, shouldn't be.
He's got to be like I mean, I saw Christian a lot because I saw that shocker red hair, but I didn't see him do much that was impressive. And okay, I also knew this was over because you probably didn't hear. Did you hear the interview with Rob Baxter in the first half?
No.
And it was and I can't recall exactly when it was. But it was him talking about how they're in it. And they just have to keep doing work. And that's what we talked to the guys about, just doing work. And I'm like, I'm watching the game and I don't see a plan. So it's like, if you're like, I'm thinking that, and you and I have had enough coaches like this, where it's like, if you just do the work, you just hit the chop, you chop away at the wood. If that's it, that's your only plan is chop away at the fucking stump.
Fucking what's his butt from used to coach Rutgers football.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. Shiano, that was his name.
Yeah, Shiano.
Got there.
That's it. That's all you have. Like, not a plan of attack of this defense. We're, as we talked about, or you and I were talking about pre-pod, like you find out who the weak guy is on the other team, and then you just run the fuck at him.
Right.
Like,
right. Let's face it. I think most people would be more realistic if they're Exeter fans, understanding that this was a huge accomplishment for what they had getting to the semifinal.
They had no business being here.
No, they got here. Awesome for them. Like, probably shouldn't have been here, but they got here. Okay.
It's silly. Yeah.
Upsets in the long way. Right. Probably got some favorable matchups, but that you play what's in front of you, so it is what it is.
No, right. No disrespect. They did play what was in front of them, and then they got to play against a South African team on the road. Like,
yeah, that was basically still.
They got a lot of things that bounced. They got a lot of bounces that went their way to get them this far. But eventually, that's gonna, their luck's gonna run out, and it certainly
luck does run out, and
that's why Austin Healy was like. It was so annoying. It's like, they're not going to win this game. Shut the fuck up. No. Like, it doesn't matter. You can't will them to win this game, Austin.
Not even. And it was, and the scoreline probably flatters them even.
It does. I turned it off like at 50 minutes or so I missed.
Yeah.
I saw the Woodburn try. I was like, oh, that was pretty fucking cool, but I'm done.
Yeah, it was great. And the Yandel try definitely wasn't a try because it was held up. But Piper being I didn't even watch. Piper being the moron he is like, nope, not going to look at it. And there would have been a try to put La Rochelle at 50. He looked at that happily. I was like, all right, this is why people don't like you, you dummy. Anywho, it was always just going to be this La Rochelle just juggernaut, and it was.
Here's a question for you because I think they mentioned it too. Davida Carbarlo, should Eddie be watching him at all?
No. There's enough good nines in Australia. Don't. I mean, he will do it because it's Eddie. And he'll do something like that where he goes, yeah, fuck all these great nines I have in here. Let's bring this guy in who's never played for Australia in his life and just throw him in there and let him and make, the World Cup his freaking guinea pig. I was like, oh, it wouldn't shock me. That would be a very Eddie thing to do.
Yeah, but the thing is, Carvalho is also talented and playing.
He's great. I'm not denying that.
He's easily the informed player, which means Eddie would never select him.
Oh, yeah. Point valid. Absolutely.
Because, Australia have some great potential talent, but at one point, Harry Randall was like the locked in next England scrum half until what the fuck happened to him?
Right.
Because I feel Tate.
Tate played pretty well this past weekend.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. So we'll get to that. Sorry.
Yeah. There's a lot to talk about with the.
It seemed like a good transition point.
Australian nines, but anyway, the second thing that happened that made me think, oh, are La Rochelle gonna get a surprise here because Sam Simmons scored, obviously, and then they had to bring Botia off.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, that could change things. It didn't.
That could. No, it didn't.
It didn't.
Could, but didn't.
It did. Yeah, and I struggle to think of who played poorly on La Rochelle. Carvalho, we know, played outstandingly. Astoy looked great.
He did.
Rule had a game. Faber was playing well. Sertani played well. Sertani was player of the match, wasn't he?
I'm not sure.
Dulan looked great. In moments. He didn't have a ton to do, but looked great in moments. Lades looks like he's figured himself out, which is great. Aldrit. Delan actually played really well. We know what Skelton can do.
Skelton this was Skelton, this was the perfect opponent for Skelton. Yeah, sure. I'm just gonna bash people over. Yeah, yep.
And that was the thing I was telling some colleagues. I was just like, listen, the one thing that Exeter can do, La Rochelle is going to be able to stand up to it because they have the personnel for it, and they can do it better too.
Right. Will Skelton plays that brand of rugby better than Kirsten and Gray and Vermeulen. Chunza looked okay, but he's not a 7. How the fuck is he your 7? What the fuck do you think you're doing with him at 7?
Man, I'd be a little scared if I was this group.
That's and that's my kind of my again, my biggest problem with Baxter is he can't fucking pick a team. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing at all. Yeah. He's such a fucking cowboy. He doesn't know. This is not that game anymore. I mean, look how good Beckinsale has been.
Yeah, he's played actually pretty well for our fourth 9.
for a fourth 9, and he's what, 18 or something?
Something like that. He's a pup.
Baby. Which, okay, that's the only excuse. That's the only fucking excuse he has for not having been playing him, because he's been willing that team forward in ways that no other 9 has done. Even Nick White wasn't really, he never exerted his will. He just ran the attack all right. Beckinsale is an aggressive. He that makes a positive impact for intentionally.
Right.
And they need more players like that, because again, those guys, Kirsten Gray, Vermeulen, Ewers, they don't do that.
God, we're not going to see.
They take what the other team will give them. They take what the other team gives them, and that's it.
Yep, it's just so I don't get the whole obsession with Rob Baxter. He only has one brand of rugby, and most of the league and Europe has figured him out.
Right. They don't have to play adjusted. And the thing is, they don't even have to play him a certain way. It just makes the way they play rugby much more simple.
Yeah. It's
we don't have to install a fucked up defense. We just play the guards and that's it. They'll kick the ball away. They're not going to do anything. Right? They're not going to do anything that's going to light your hair on fire. it's super like it's not. It's if you do one thing, do it well, yes, but you actually have to put some pressure on the other team when you do it.
Yeah. I mean, hey, they'll chuck the ball around when they're down 40.
Yeah. Okay.
That does a lot of good.
Right, but isn't like why don't you start playing the game like that?
Just a little bit at least. God,
Right?
let the shackles off a wee bit.
It's like Wyatt is the same way. I mean, fuck, did Slade even like did Slade play in this match?
I don't know.
don't think I fucking saw him. I
I'm
mean,
with
how
you
is
on
he
that
an
one.
international player? Give me a fucking break. Noel didn't do, again, but it's Woodburn making the aggressive like the making the play.
I loved Woodburn, and yeah, everybody's
Dan
having
Frost
a
makes the play. Like
yeah.
these
I
guys,
like Dan Frost. He got a card in this match like an
yeah,
idiot,
he
but
did. But
he
what
deserved it.
that's too much Exeter in him now.
Yeah, right. And
But
yeah,
none
I
of them
could
are matching the class that's across from them,
right.
which is problematic. Like Beckinsale's doing well, but Carballo is fucking ridiculous. Woodburn,
Yeah,
yeah, but Rule,
yeah. Rule and
yeah,
Lids have definitely turned into different players
yeah,
since their move to the La Rochelle, and
yeah.
it's
Save
for the
Tenny
better.
ate up Slade. Like, give
Yep.
me a fucking break.
Oh, and last thing, and then we'll move on. Schoolboy defending in so many ways, like the Satani try. What are you doing? Like that's and they're supposed to be people are supposed to be banging the drum about how great they're not literally, figuratively, for how great their defense is. That's poor. And the first try, oh my God, if that was my boys,
Yeah,
I'd be like, guys, let's get on the bus and go home. That's awful.
right.
Like you had a wing come up and your freaking fullback didn't even have his head on to rotate. Like,
No,
what are you doing? Beginning of the match.
right,
You don't even have the excuse of I'm tired.
right.
Like, come on, man.
You
Oh,
just didn't know where you were supposed to be.
yeah, that was just schoolboy defending, and there is no excuse for that. And if you're gonna lean on this whole they have a great defense thing, you can't fucking defend like that. And as soon as those two tries went over, I was like, this game is over. Because if they're defending like this, forget it. Forgets it. Let's go. I'm done. Let's go to Super Rugby. Hurricanes and Brumbies. Yes, a little bit dicey, but really the scoreline is a little flattering because Lonergan nailed a penalty to make it closer, but at the end. So overall, I was pretty happy myself. Not sad.
Yeah, but at the same time, fucking Nick Frost pwned your team.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh.
Fucking
Did someone lose a rather
draft.
large horse?
Yeah.
Look out.
Look, I don't blame you guys for not tackling him personally. That didn't look fun. But yeah, no, I mean that was excellent. That was a lot of fun. Made the game interesting. And but fuck, Canes are class. They just again, same kind of thing, outclassed them. Brumbies are not a bad team by any stretch.
No.
And they showed pretty well. Like the players that like Corey Toole had I didn't expect him to have like that good a match. I thought this was going to be a little bit of a next level experience for him, but he showed up.
Yeah, played really well.
Right.
Played really, really well. Obviously got himself tied down, but even beyond that.
Right. I was like, oh, cool. When I saw that, I was like, oh, he deserved that. Like that's I'm I'll be that's hey, it's not my points, but it didn't really matter in the points at all, except for they get a point.
Yeah, right.
So
and it's
Flanders was excellent.
Yes.
Artie's
just a
monster. He's on a mission. I mean, he always has been, but
yeah, he is on a mission, no doubt.
I had a thought.
Shoot.
So why not start Naholo at wing? And if Proctor's still out, if he's hurt, why not have Sevilla at 13?
That's a possibility. I don't know how much longer Billy Proctor is out.
Because like Sevilla's he's been the fucking ghost out on the wing.
He has.
And he needs to get he just needs to get the ball more. And Pooge.
Balin Sullivan and Pooge will both be fine in that midfield next to Jordy. So Billy Proctor was the form 13, fine. No doubt. But
yeah. Exactly. That's why it's like neither of them have been. I'm not sold on them. But so that's why
No,
I would think like
if he gets healthy, if Proctor gets healthy, he goes right back into the lineup. No question.
exactly. I'm kind of sick of seeing Sevilla like not live up to like
Right.
why is Artie not being like, dude,
Kicking his brother's ass. I know.
This is not the. I mean, it's also not the Julian Sevilla that you and I
Remember?
revered,
No.
and I don't get it. I don't understand it.
Yeah,
It's frustrating.
No, I think there has to be a point where Jason Holland drops him.
Yeah,
one
because
way
I'm
or
like
the other.
that's my only thought. Like if you have to play him and you really want to do that, like Naholo has been a fucking terror when he comes in.
Yeah, he's a monster when he gets in there,
as he was in this match too, even though he only got 15 minutes. But like, why not bring Sevilla closer to the? He's physical. He's good defensively, so bring him in because Pooch didn't give much. I didn't think, like I said.
No, it wasn't.
Not that he was bad.
He's
It's not
still
that he was
banging off
bad.
the rust too. So
Yeah,
give him a little bit of time. I would
right.
give him another week or two before I really start saying, "All right, dude, pull your head out of your ass."
Yeah,
Not to that point yet.
And Balin's not been, like, yeah, give him a week off because he's been solid. Absolutely. There's not the danger man that I think they are really like. I think that's the difference between the Hurricanes and certainly like somebody like obviously like the Chiefs. I'm going to point at because the Blues are kind of like this too, where there's still that one guy who's not a threat.
Right.
Like they don't have a 12. Like Blues don't have a 12 in this case right now. The Hurricanes don't have a 13.
Right.
And that's
Plumbers play pretty
actually. I'm sorry, they don't have a 14 really.
Yeah, something to that degree, right?
They kind of have a mid 13 at the moment. But yeah, like you can't have holes in that back line. I mean, although you can certainly against the Australian.
So yeah, some of the Australian teams you can get away with it.
Yeah. But they're still a fucking wagon. Now, I'm not trying to disrespect them. It's just I'm wondering they could be better is where I am. I think that's what's fucking with my head right now is that like, okay, but if they actually fielded their best lineup, their most productive lineup, I would not easily expect the same results as the last time the Chiefs played the Hurricanes.
No, probably not.
I would be scared.
Yeah. We'll see. Camera yard's unbelievable. When we start talking about All Black selections, I'm curious to see how that one goes.
I can't imagine his name won't come up.
Yeah. Right now, Smith, Weber, Roigard. And it's probably that's probably the pecking order too, if we're honest, as well. Although Christie is here's the thing, and what do you do with Finley Christie, who's actually played really well? So
he's playing okay.
Yeah,
he hasn't been like I feel like
Roigard's extremely valuable to that Blues.
I think he's been valuable, but I don't think he's been. Again, it's the same thing I was saying about Beckinsale. Like Roigard has been a positive impact on the Hurricanes, really helping to drive them forward. And whereas Finley Christie's kind of just, he's got the car in gear and letting the, hitting, like pulling the right pedals, whatever you want to say, pushing the right pedals, like, getting them where they need to be, but he's not been the danger man. Like that's what and I think you need that, I mean, he can be that guy. We've seen it. It's just he hasn't been, in my opinion.
Right. Did you get to watch Waratahs and Highlanders? Because I
did not. I didn't see it.
Because
I saw an interview with the players and coaches after the match for about 15 minutes. That's what I saw. I didn't even watch it. I just kind of pushed through it to see if there was any actual rugby they were going to show, and nope, just 15 minutes of
what a disgrace.
Oh,
thank you. Apparently it was a good match too, but we can't
talk
about it because
I didn't see it.
Somebody, I don't know. There needs to be something done about that, but that's a different story for a different day. Anyway, let's go over to Fiji. And the Blues are one of the few teams that are able to survive the rather warm conditions over in Fiji and get a win, because I don't know. I think there's been 2 games in Fiji and they've won both.
I think so.
Yeah, just a little hot and humid over there. Can't imagine why.
Yeah, right.
But that's
also that team gets like the crowd's up for it. and it
Mm-hmm.
gets the team up for it's very circular.
Yeah,
And
it's quite an atmosphere to walk into.
it's not an easy, like, I don't even care about the, like, that the conditions help, but it's not an easy place to play.
No, no,
Um
they do a good
yeah.
job over there for sure.
And like everybody on the Drua want to show up for the fan. Like they're trying to put on a show. So you know that they're, whatever happens, it's not going to stop, because if they, they only put up 5 points in the first half, it's not like they're going to be like,
Oh
oh
well, we should
well, it's
just
going to be
go
one of
home.
those days. No, they're going to be like, all right, well, let's just try to score a lot of points in the second half.
Yeah.
So yeah, like and Ilya Kanakaveda, fuck,
Yeah, giving people
he obliged.
giving them problems to think about and things to think about over there for the Drua, because I am unconvinced about Salawa at this point.
Yeah, I'm not far off.
You have Kankateva, you have Miramira, and you have Tamani.
Yeah.
I think that's the best thing you got right there.
Right. Although I think these are your top four that they played. I just
Probably
maybe wouldn't have them in this order.
Yeah, probably put
Exactly.
Salawa on the bench there.
Yeah.
But really, yeah, that's that I think is your back row.
Right. I mean, they have things like, again, nothing wrong with losing to this Blues team anywhere. They're fucking stacked. I mean,
yeah, who are you gonna guard? Talia, Ioane, Clark, Bodie?
Right. And then Sachutu's gonna have something to say, and then obviously Papali'i finally got over. Papali'i, like this was a nice step forward for him. He's been kind of
a little quiet. Yeah,
it's been rough for him. This was good. Hey, I'm back. And Akira Ioane's coming back too. Fuck.
Yep, he was on the bench for this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It didn't have much in the way of carries. He only had 3 carries.
Right.
But one of them got over. We know his damage is usually more done on the other side, but even that, yeah, only 6 tackles made, 1 miss, 1 turnover. Yeah, Choate and Darian Suafo were more busy on the defensive side.
Yeah, so. Suafo had a good match too, even outside of the try too. The try was
very good.
Proper try.
Yep.
But yeah, they both, like, they're just and then they have Tuipolatu still hanging around. Like, this is a fucking deep team the Blues have.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. Team. That's why you can have that when you have a guy like Darry put in 64 minutes and just be like, this is your like, he's not he's not your best lock. So it's like, if you can, but you can just play the role for this, eat up these minutes so that we can get guys rested. Now you're freaking fresh like I think that helps to offset the temperature issues, because it's still fresh legs.
Yep.
Compared to other guys. So
right.
That's my theory anyway. That's, I think, how they work that.
Not a terrible theory. Let's go to Mount Smart and Moana hosting the Rebels.
I missed this one.
I watched bits and pieces of it. Moana showed as they do, but in the end, the things like discipline and such just end up being the thing to bite you.
No, I did watch this one. What the fuck am I saying? Which one did I miss then?
Same one I missed.
Oh, well. Yeah, that's right. That's it then.
Same one I missed, dude. Yeah, penalties 16-12 and 3 yellow cards, that being the huge one, especially I think it was back-to-back props that got carded. So one was ready to come back on, the other one went off. I was like, well, that's not really going to work. So they had to leave. I think they left Taba Nawai off the field for quite a bit of time, which is really not ideal, because the dude had 68 meters on 7 carries and he beat 6 defenders and he did that on limited action.
Right.
What you doing over there? Yeah, it just, again, discipline's just biting them a little bit, and Rebels put the pressure on them early and made them just concede one of those cards eventually. So that That'll do it right there. So good.
Mhm.
Not to take anything from the Rebels, but yeah, that does it right there, right in that spot right there.
Ow,
Although,
that hurts. That spot.
yeah, it hurt Juan a big time.
Yeah, it did.
But it's slightly disappointing to see that the Drew have taken the step forward, even if it ends up being a
Yeah,
marginal one.
I would have liked them to have kept Giovanni out though at the end. Like that would have been to really not give up. Again, they lost. They had a bonus point right there,
Mhm.
and they desperately need points at this point.
Agreed.
Just for the sake of showing up, and yeah, to let in a try after yeah after the clock when the clock's red to lose a bonus point, that just kind of sucks.
Yeah, I'm sure the coaching staff were losing their mind about that.
Probably. I hope so.
Yeah, they were less than happy, I bet.
Yeah.
So, Rebels snap their
That's the thing,
streak.
and it's not as yeah. Wait, was this in Samoa? Was this
No, that was last week.
okay?
The last one. I did watch a little bit of that one. It was cool. To do.
I was just thinking because it's not nearly as much of a home field advantage, but
No.
duh, that makes sense.
Absolutely not. No, not quite. Your guys over in Waikato, Chiefs
Reds,
and Crusaders.
Oh, there we go. Sorry, I went right past it.
What are you doing skipping past your own goddamn match? What's wrong with you?
It was this one. Oh, yeah. I Again, too many kicks for points. I fucking hated it. So I've here's what I've learned. Once you kick for points twice, now you got to start scoring tries. Like you do it once. Oh fuck. Okay, fine. You do it twice. All right. Now you've established that you can score points. Now why don't you go score real points, big boy points? Fuck, 12 points at half. Without really trying for a try.
No, they really didn't. That was, bro. When that happened, I was like, all right, I think the Crusaders are going to feel a little bit better about themselves than they probably should, because here I am thinking, I know they're in this, but Chiefs haven't really gone for the line. I mean, they did a little bit, but
not seriously. Not like they did when Retallick got over, not when then that play with Stevens. Fuck that. Holy shit.
Yeah, from McKenzie. That was great.
Right. And like all of it was really well worked. Like they did some really good stuff to lead up to their tries. And it's like that's what's made you good all year, and you're going for the fucking posts. Yeah, right. I'm against it.
Yeah, it was 9-7 at half, and again, 9-7. Okay, Crusaders are probably thinking we're in this, and they did stay in it, to be fair, all the way till the end. But like, I think it was just a little bit of a false positive in that aspect where DMAC had kicked 3 penalties, and they really hadn't quite gone for the line that much. So I think it was just waiting for that screw to turn just a little bit more, and eventually it did, and they got the job done. But it was like, oh boy, that's just asking for it coming up here.
Yeah, but it also made it kind of did make the victory that much more fun.
Yeah,
because it was like you toyed with them for a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Congratulations. You know who else you toyed with? Our emotions.
Your emotions. I just watched. I just watched. Shit, it was good. And we saw.
It's like it's like that Dumb and Dumber thing. Every fucking time with McKenzie, like every time I think you go and can't screw up any worse or do anything more stupid, you go and totally redeem yourself. Except he actually does redeem himself. So
yeah. And we saw David Havili's butt
for real. We did. Havili bum very early on
the ground.
2 little marshmallows.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure I want. I'm not sure I want to be on the ground with my ass hanging out. Like,
No.
I'd rather be running and having my butt hang out and just give
That's
myself
like,
a
yeah,
pants pull up job,
that's
because
like
when you're
the
on the ground,
conversation.
it's wet down there, and dudes are like
Yeah.
stepping on your ass. Literally, it's
Yeah,
like,
you don't, right. You don't want that exposure because,
no,
yeah, guys like to
no,
step on things or, yeah,
yeah, oh yeah. Well, Jesus,
it
hopefully
kind of
not
sick.
anything else. Yikes.
Right. But it's like, we were talking with the lady who was sitting next to us,
Oh
about rugby
yeah.
and bum at the Free Jacks match, and like how great it is that, yeah, there's a sport where like every so often you're gonna see some ass.
Yes,
Like,
you are. Yes, you are.
love it. It's hilarious. It reminds us not to take ourselves too seriously. It's all really funny because sometimes you show your ass.
Literally.
Literally everybody, look, as we I think each of us have run, like, I got my pants pulled down in football once, but I was wearing
You're wearing
like
the girdle
the
underneath, no?
the girdle underneath. Like there's layers
Yeah.
with this shit. Um the rugby there's not, which is,
No. Tie your
like, you
shorts
never
and
see,
wear your spandex, kids.
right.
Otherwise, yep, it's coming out. It's gotta come
Yeah.
out. Even
And it
then,
happens to even if you do, we've all
yeah.
had our butt out at some point.
Yeah, I didn't tie my shorts once, and it was in a mall, and I was like,
Oh.
"Ooh, hello!" Like, everyone's like, "Shrek, pull your shorts up." I was like, "Yeah, working on it." Tied my shorts right after that. I was like,
Right.
"That was the culprit. I forgot to tie my shorts." So yeah, everything came with it. I was like, "Oopsie."
Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
Happens. All right. Speaking of your ass, Reds and Force. Quite the ass,
Oof.
actually.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
That kid
nobody needs to see that.
scored
This is
twice.
why I
Fraser
wore
McWhite scored twice. Do I need to say more? No. Okay, good.
no, Fraser McWright scored like 4 times.
Yeah, two of them got called back.
Yeah. Um,
Fluke
and
got
like,
called back. I was like, no,
right. Yeah,
my points. Get back
there were
here.
like 3 or 4 called back tries on the Reds. This was so much more
Of a
of a
shit of an ass whooping than it looks like.
than it looks like.
Yeah, agreed.
It was bad. Although, you take out Zach Kibarigi and it looks
It's a
terrible
total
anyways.
tonking at that point. Yeah, agreed.
Fucking that guy is good, by the way. And did you hear at the end what they said about him?
Potentially moving to the UK.
Moving to the UK to play. People are saying, and the sayings are a people that the Saracens are in the mix.
Yeah, well,
I
financially that
like
might
hearing
not be
that
the smartest move, but just we can save that conversation for another day.
Exactly. But I would welcome him with.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad, but just
Yeah.
saying for his own sake.
Right. That's true. But he is doing well down there, so it's
Yes,
good to see. But
yeah, you should be a starter almost every week.
right, he's fucking fantastic. I like I mean, he's been good with Wasps the last couple seasons anyway. Like, seriously good. I remember when it was like between him and Bassett for who was actually, better. And I feel like Kibarigi kind of was like, no, that's me. And Bassett's still been good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But Kibarigi's still like, no, I'm that guy.
Yep.
Take me to another continent, another hemisphere. I'm still that guy. That's
well, yeah.
That's kind of a okay. You don't need to prove it to me anymore. Now I'm just going to enjoy it.
Yeah, something like that, right?
That's where he is in territory for me. I like watching Zach Kibarigi. I also like watching Manasa Mataeli too. Did you see the thing about him and his wife, who plays for the women's side? That was really cool.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. That's right. That's great. I love it. And then
yeah, the Reds just fucking whomped them.
Yeah, they did. They just crushed them. MLR, that one. Free Jacks put a bagel on Rugby New York or New York Island.
Ugly fucking weather for a match.
Yeah, it was pretty awful. And I can honestly say there was a point, like, once we got 2 scores on the board, I didn't really feel like there was going to be a threat from New York.
No,
I just don't know where it was going to come from. That's the thing.
Right. I was like, you might score once, maybe.
We got held up a bunch, and that was like,
yeah. And that was bullshit. I didn't like that ref much.
Yeah, Osmus is not that good.
He missed a shit ton of like so he calls the yellow that he called
on
an intentional knock with a guy who had both hands on the ball.
Yeah, horrible decision.
Like who was and had a clean field in front of him.
Yeah,
like that's just a clear knock on. There was a terrible pass right down, like very extremely flat, not forward. And the rush defender just had both hands going for it and just and knocked it upwards and just didn't gather it. As I recall, he may have knocked it, may have bounced straight down, but like he still had two hands. Like it was he was going
for it. He was clearly trying to grab it with two hands.
And Mitch, what was it? Mitch Wilson took that high shot and the ref like right in front of him, and
I know he's short, but it doesn't matter. Still fucking.
Then he called a penalty on it. Then they called it just a penalty, and it's like, no, that's got to be.
Yeah, that was only with the AR's help, I think.
Right? No, the AR buzzed it in, or I thought the TMO might have buzzed it in or something, but
oh yeah, maybe that.
He went to his
what
ear.
am I talking about? They don't let the ARs do shit.
Right. He went to his ear and then called it, and it was just like, come on, that had to be more than that.
Yeah, no,
and we had so many penalties down in their end in the first half, and he didn't card him or even really talk to him, and it's like,
yeah, the fact that there was no real conversation about the consistent infringement was really annoying.
Right. It's like, yeah, by 3 minutes in, they'd had like 5 penalties in their own end.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
Yeah. So
anyway, they got the job done.
It was a thorough. Either way, it was a thorough butt kicking. The scoreline doesn't really flatter.
No,
it was a product of the weather more than anything,
for sure.
Yeah, if that was a nice clear day, it's like probably in the 30s, and
it's bad.
The Ironworkers score is probably about the same.
Yeah, give or take.
Right.
Yes. Agreed. But showing everyone a clean pair of heels in the East right now. Gotta love it. Bye-bye. The rest of the whip around. Pardon me, lost my spot. There we go. Yeah, Seattle absolutely tonked the Jackals. No shock there. Nola beat Arrows again. No shock. Sorry, Toronto. Just it ain't happening, dude. San Diego beat Sabercats. This is the first game of what's his butt suspension as well.
Yeah, good.
Probably for
not the last.
Yeah, no.
I haven't seen I didn't see.
He's done until basically the last game of the season.
Wow.
Yeah. No need.
Nope.
Anywho, I saw it. It's sad. I saw it on Deadspin. Like they showed. I was like, oh man, I don't want to be on that for that reason.
No,
like,
no need
come on,
for that.
Come on.
And yet here we are.
Yeah,
thanks a lot, assholes.
Thanks, assholes. Anywho, cool. That's the action for the weekend. Ben and I are jumping over to the fantasy pod. Obviously, this is very important stuff going on over there. If you're not joining us, we do appreciate you hanging out and listening to us for about an hour or so and letting us babble into your ear. Enjoy the final weekend of the Prem. I'm going to watch it on replay because I think I'm playing in a tournament this weekend. So
hopefully they play all the matches.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Different conversation for a different day.
Oh, by the time you're listening to this, you'd already know.
You'll know probably. But anyway, we appreciate you all for listening to us, and we will catch you all next week. Enjoy the rugby and have a good one, everyone.
Later.